Hi, welcome to or back to my channel. My name is Shea and I've been living in Bologna, Italy, where I've been studying Italian for the past 2 years. Since living in Italy, my Italian has really improved, but I feel like over the last 6 months or so, I really haven't been studying seriously because I thought just talking with people is enough. But there are still a lot of grammar rules and vocabulary that I need to learn and that I need to practice. So I decided recently that I wanted to really focus on studying seriously. So I've kind of recreated a study routine and I wanted to take you along with me today to show you what I've been doing, as well as some resources and some tips about how you can study effectively. Because I feel like for the longest time, I was kind of just all over the place. I wasn't really studying or having a specific routine. I wasn't using a lot of resources. And I feel like because I didn't have a concentration or a focus on certain things, it made me feel like I wasn't learning at all, like I haven't made any progress. Even just after a few days of this new routine, I already feel more confident. I feel like I have been learning a lot. So I feel like this is a really good routine that I have going on. And then I'll show you also how I've been tracking what I've been studying, so that way I can really see how long I've been studying and the different areas that I've been studying. So I've been chatting enough, so let's get into the first part. I don't always do everything in the same order, but usually to start, I focus on grammar. So I recently got this advanced Italian grammar book, and I've just been going through every single section, not skipping anything, and practicing the exercises. So I have my notebook here. Usually I try to get through one section a day. Obviously, if a section is a little bit more intense, I can spread it out a little bit, but I've noticed that I have been getting through about a section a day, and I try not to do more than that because I don't want to overload myself. A lot of these topics I have studied before. None of this stuff is new really, because in school I got through C1 grammar. It's just a matter of actually reviewing these and practicing them instead of just saying, oh yeah, I studied this, I know it. I don't know it. I need to practice it because maybe in theory I know what it's talking about, but actually using it when I'm speaking is a whole nother thing. So I am moving on to section 8, which looks like it is about relative pronouns, conjunctions, and reported speech, which is really good because these kind of words I always confuse, things like benché, affinché. Also, I wanted to show how I've been tracking my study sessions. This is something that I learned from when I did that refold course for 30 days with Portuguese. They actually recommended this. This is not like my own invention. They recommended tracking things on Toggle, which is free. What I really like is you can track all the different activities. And when I say that I've been tracking my study sessions, you can see I literally started a few days ago. Like, it's not something I've been doing for weeks. I wish. I do think it's a really good thing to do, but it's a very recent thing. So you can see here that I've studied for at least an hour every day. I'd like to do more. Sometimes I also forget to note when I've been like watching YouTube videos. But I also really like that you can see here basically like a graph of where you're spending your time. So you can see as of right now, I'm spending half of my time doing grammar review, which is good. Like, I think it's what I need. And then I have speaking here because I include my italki sessions and whatever other speaking, I'll show you what I do. But I think it's good because you obviously want this to be pretty much equal. I mean, it doesn't have to be super equal, but it'll show you later on, like once you get a lot more entries, you know, maybe your speaking is not high enough. Like, a lot of us avoid speaking. It doesn't necessarily need to be completely equal, but you can see, you know, where you're lacking basically. Now that I'm going to get started on grammar, I go here to projects and I go to grammar practice and I press the play button, start my timer. And then obviously just make sure to stop it when you're done, so it's not just running like for hours. Yeah, I'm gonna read through this section and then go through the exercises, and then the answers to all the exercises are at the end of the book, so you can make sure that you are correct. But this will be really good, I think, because I really need to practice this kind of stuff. So let's get into it. I did about 20 minutes of grammar. There were a lot of exercises, and so I think this section may take me 2 days. I think it's good to split up between 2 days because also there are, like I mentioned, this section has things that I really need to review, so I don't want to rush through it. But recently I've also been studying kind of like in different time chunks. So right now I'm doing a session, but sometimes if I have extra time, I'll go back and do some more grammar. So who knows, I might be able to finish the exercises later today. For now, I'm going to do my vocabulary practice. Right now I have 2 flashcard sets on Quizlet. One is a set of words that I learn from whatever I'm reading at the time. So for new words that I encounter while reading, I put them into that set. And then I have another Quizlet set of most commonly used advanced vocabulary words. Basically, I got it from another textbook that is literally just like thousands of words and their meanings that are supposedly like ranked in order of the most commonly used. I don't know exactly, but I've been going through that and just adding words from there into my Quizlet set, and it's just been growing every day. But for now, I've added a lot, so I think I just want to review all of them. Technically, I could just combine these Quizlet sets, but I don't know. I think I like having them split up because one is purely from the words I've learned while reading, and this other one is like more common words. I'm really trying to focus now on expanding my vocabulary. I think when you're a beginner, it's important to just focus on words that you probably will use more often, that will probably come up in conversation. Like you probably don't need to focus on oddly specific words from different industries or whatever. But now if there's a word I come across, like I came across the word like sewer the other day, which like probably don't say that word every day or often at all. I'm trying not to discriminate against words anymore. Like I really want to learn everything because sometimes I'll be out and I'm with someone and they'll like point to something or they're talking about something and I'm like, I don't know what that is because it's not a super common word, but I want to know it. So I'm really trying to learn those oddly specific words so that way I can understand pretty much everything. So usually I just review vocab for, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes, maybe even less. Not a ton because I just do a little bit every day. So I'm just going to do a little bit of that and then we'll move on to reading. Okay, now vocab part is finished. Like I said, I did about 15 minutes and that was good to review those words because a lot of them, like I just can't, even though I review them, they just are not sticking in my brain. Now it is reading time and I've recently downloaded a new book on my iPad. I almost said Kindle, but like I honestly only use this iPad basically as a Kindle, but I won it in like a raffle one time, so otherwise I would have no need for an iPad, but yeah, I basically use it like a Kindle. I only use it to read. So I got the book. It's called Come uccidono le brave ragazze. Intense. But in English, it's the book that's called A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which I would hear about all the time. Like I saw the picture of the cover everywhere and it has really good reviews. People are like, this book is so good. And I think now it's going to be a series. So yeah, I mean, so far I'm only like 40 pages in. So far it's interesting, but I'm curious to see how it goes. I always recommend reading books translated from your target language. I just feel like they're a lot easier to read. I do think I should start to sprinkle in some originally Italian books because I have read some, but they definitely take me longer to get through just because I feel like the grammar and everything is more complicated, whereas English books translated into Italian, I like fly through them. So what I do is I like to use my iPad because you can click on the word. Like let's say I don't know a word. I can just like hold and click on it and then there's a little button. There's a button that says dictionary and it will give you some like Italian explanation, but also the English translation. So it's very helpful. And then I can go ahead and also highlight these words and then add them to my Quizlet set after. So I like to read. I don't like to stop right away and add them into this set. I will add them like after I finish a chapter or I finish my reading, I go back and add them to the Quizlet set. Well, I'm going to go ahead and read a good chunk of this. I also like to listen to music or just like ambient noise or green noise sounds while I read because it helps me really focus. And let's see how much I get through. A bit of a lunch break because I was getting way too hungry and I couldn't focus on anything I was doing. So also, you don't need to be doing this whole study session at once. I'm looking at my timer right now and I'm almost already at 1 hour. So you don't need to have an hour chunk of time or more to study. You can definitely split up your study activities throughout the day. I personally right now have a lot of time because I work from home and don't really have many work projects this week. So at least I have time to study Italian. I do think actually I'm in the mood to do a bit more grammar. I don't know why this week I've totally been like grammar because that usually doesn't happen. But I do want to do some more exercises. I feel like I was doing well on those. I also have been watching a lot of YouTube. Like usually before I go to bed, I'm watching YouTube vlogs from creators, Italian creators that I really like. And I really feel like it's helping. Like I'm learning a lot. Like informal ways of speaking and shadowing to work on my pronunciation, but that is something I typically do later in the day. I will also write here the YouTubers that I've been watching and that I like and that I recommend. They're basically all vlog style. I like mainly vlogs. Like I like to see life in Italy, things that they do throughout the day. I love like travel vlog videos, places to travel in Italy. Like I'm going to Sardinia soon, so I love travel vlogs of Italians going there so I can see what it'll be like. Those are my current favorites. Oh, for speaking. So for speaking practice, I did include my 1 hour italki session that I do every single week. And then another thing that I've been doing is recording myself speaking. So what you can do is look up some topics to speak about depending on your level. Advanced language learner speaking practice questions, like something like that. You can look up interview questions, even like first date questions, because that way you can practice talking about yourself. I did find a good website where it was basically like advanced level topics to talk about. Basically pretend you're doing an exam and you have like 3 to 5 minutes to talk about a topic. Plan it out, say it out loud, either like record yourself just the audio or a video. And that way you can play it back and hear where you made mistakes. Or for example, when I'm talking and I don't know a word, I'll just say it in English because that way when I'm reviewing the transcript or the audio recording, I will be sure to look that word up. So then it helps because you can tell where you're making mistakes. And once you have enough audios, then you can see like the mistakes you most often make. So for me, I very often mix up like noun adjective agreements or pronouns, combined pronouns. I always avoid using them. So things like chi and ne, I mess up, or again, avoid using them. And I also repeat myself a lot. Like I say the same exact thing because I am trying to find new words to describe things. So let's say I say something is difficile, I'll be like, sì, quindi sì, è molto difficile. Like I just said that. So like I need to find new words, new ways of explaining myself without repeating the same exact thing. These are things that you start to realize once you record yourself and you have all this evidence of how you speak. And then you can be like, oh, I need to fix that or change that or whatever. So that's why I've really been getting into logging my study sessions and recording myself and just like really finding my weaknesses, because I don't think I've done that enough. I might do a speaking session. I want to look back at those questions. What was that? There are so many websites you can look up speaking exam questions for like C1 level, or if you are advanced for other ones. And they have really good questions, like more abstract topics, or what do you think about psychology type things, which is really interesting and really beneficial to talk about those types of things when you are in an advanced level. For example, I just looked it up and I found some questions. How important is it for you to stay close with your family? Tell me about your hometown. Where do you come from? Like basic stuff like this, and then going more into, do you prefer to be alone or with other people? Like, are you introverted or extroverted? Where do you see yourself in 10 years time? How important is it for you to be successful in life? How do you define success? Things like that. You can get very philosophical and deep with this kind of stuff. So I think I'll choose one of these questions, jot down some ideas, and see what happens. See if my grammar studying and other stuff has paid off. One goal of mine is to just be more clear and concise when I speak Italian, because like I mentioned, I ramble and I repeat the same things over and over again because I don't have like a diverse enough vocabulary. So I think I'll make that one of my goals, and maybe I should choose questions that aren't as intense. But for now, I think that's plenty of studying. Like I mentioned, I will watch some more YouTube videos later today, and I still like to listen to music, podcasts, like just again finding different ways to incorporate Italian or whatever language you're learning into your daily routine. I have a lot of videos about that as well, like how to make a study routine, how to incorporate it more into your daily life, even if you have a very busy schedule. I have all these videos on my channel that you can check out, plus videos of me speaking in Italian. So thank you so much for watching this video. All the resources that I mentioned, including that grammar book, will be listed in the link below. And if you found this video helpful and you enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos of mine, and I will see you all again very soon.